Here's a press release from June 12, 2020 that will nicely set up the following interview with Jerry Perez, Field Director with Our Revolution Los Angeles. Our Revolution chapters are joining MPP, Movement for a People's Party, marking a momentous shift towards a major new People's Party in the progressive movement. Los Angeles, California. Our Revolution, Central Connecticut, We Want Bernie, Worcester, and 3 Our Revolution chapters in Oregon announced today that they are joining the Movement for a People's Party to finish the political revolution in a major new People's Party. The 4 chapters and Bernie Group join the rapidly growing network of NPP state and local hubs that are organizing in their communities, building local coalitions, and planning ballot access. Across the country, many more Our Revolution chapters and Bernie groups are discussing joining NPP, Movement for a People's Party, marking a momentous shift in the progressive movement towards building a genuinely progressive party that is free of corporate money and influence. The chapters in Oregon include Our Revolution Portland, Our Revolution Southern Oregon, and Our Revolution affiliate, the Rural Oregon Progressive Network. A second rigged presidential primary election against Sanders and his supporters and the Democratic Party's refusal to champion progressive policies, even during the extreme suffering caused by the pandemic and ensuing economic collapse, is leading progressives to conclude that the movement's future is in a major new party. The national uprising against police brutality and law enforcement budgets that dwarf social services is emphasizing the demand for transformative change reverberating throughout America. Last month, Our Revolution Los Angeles joined the Movement for a People's Party and called on Our Revolution chapters and progressive groups nationwide to build a new party with us. Now, several chapters and groups are answering that call, said Jerry Perez, Field Director with Our Revolution Los Angeles. So now joining us this morning is Jerry Perez at the crack of dawn Pacific time to let us know what's going on both with the July 11th rally, Movement for a People's Party, and with Our Revolution at the national level.
So it's 5 o'clock over here for me, and I'm actually just barely getting up. So you're getting my fresh thoughts right here.
Excellent. So. Yes, fresh. Have you had any coffee?
No, not yet. I'm actually going to go right back to bed after this.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's peppily introduce are we talking about the July 11th rally?
We can talk about the July 11th rally, and we can talk about whatever you like. So if you have whatever questions you have for me, I'll answer them to the best of my ability.
Okay. So what I'm seeing is a way for people to get back at the establishment. Is that a good way to sum it up?
This is the best way to get back at the establishment at this particular point in time. They believe that they can do whatever the fuck they want. They believe they can steal from us. They believe they can cheat us. They believe that they have all the power and there will be no repercussions. Doing this is the best way to get back at the Democratic Party.
What have they done so far that have pissed you off the most?
Yes. Okay, let me go ahead and compress a list here. The very first thing was they cheated me out of my vote twice. So back in 2016, I was a Democrat of 7 years. I am a United States Marine Corps veteran, and I voted absentee ballot. Voted for Obama, did all of the good things good little Democrats are supposed to do.
Right.
Went to go vote for Bernie Sanders in 2016 after I was introduced to him by my brother. This is the first time I was ever enthused to actually go vote for someone.
Me too.
Like actually listening to him and seeing how he acts, how people were motivated by him. Like, I was like, that was a leader. That is a fucking leader right there. I'm going to go vote for that man. Went to go vote. My voter status was purged.
Yeah.
And I was given a provisional ballot.
Yeah.
Or say it bluntly, a fake ballot.
Right. Not a real ballot.
It's not a real ballot. It's a feel-good ballot.
Yes.
It's supposed to trick you and make you feel like, oh, I went and voted, and my vote's going to be kind of good. No, what they do is they put your vote in a little pink envelope, put it into a box, those who warehouse is completely forgotten and then destroyed later.
Okay, so voter suppression and voter purging, so they cheat that way. What other ways have they cheated us?
Well, let's look at 2020 here. They closed down voting stations.
Yes.
They put together this new voting system where you use these new electronic ballots. And they did this heavily here in California. Here in California, what we did is we went to Alex Padilla's house in the middle of the night. He runs our elections. And Rusty Hicks, the Democratic chair, with the amazing Maria Estrada, who's running against Anthony Rendon. And we told those individuals, if anything funny happens during this election, if you cheat us, we're going to come back. And we're going to let you know that we are fucking dissed. And so that is the only reason, I believe personally, that Bernie Sanders won California. It's because we put pressure on them directly.
So blatant rigging, blatant cheating. What do you feel about Obama's last minute, in the 72 hours before Super Tuesday, his last minute calling everybody off and letting Biden run unopposed?
It's a complete disgrace.
Yeah.
A complete disgrace. And he screwed us. He freaking screwed us.
So the machine screwed us. We've got the Obama, Clinton, CIA, Hollywood machine. And
not a machine. Let's be clear about this. These people screwed us.
Yeah.
Obama screwed us.
Yeah.
And Democratic leadership screwed us. Why? To ensure that they keep their money.
The donor class. So the donors are, we know that they're owned by the donors. We know they do their bidding. They're puppets on strings. And so there was no way in hell they were going to let Bernie be the nominee, which was abundantly obvious. So this was a sham all along. This was
whole
just
thing is a sham.
The whole thing is a sham all along. And unless voters want to actually, if voters just want to roll over and pretend like voting matters, that's one thing. But the grassroots Bernie people, I've been in touch with some of them, and you have the same steely glint to your eye. You've got this idea that, okay, we've been told all this crock of shit all the way through that we could be good little Democrats and we could work through the system and we could get a populist as a candidate for president. And it was a lie all the way through. There was never a moment when that was going to happen.
All the way through. They've been dragging us along and leading us with a carrot this whole time. And it's all bullshit.
Sheepdogging. They've been sheepdogging us. So when we wake up, then there are a few things that come to mind. Then you think about protests. Then you think about riots even. You think about strikes, general strikes, labor strikes, wildcat strikes. You think about people doing rent, no paying the rent, no paying the mortgage, no paying the student loan debt, etc. Then you talk about real revolt. And so that's where a lot of people are now. They see the cheating. They see that it was never going to happen ever, no matter what. So something like what you're proposing comes along, and they're thinking, okay, that's another way to get back at the system. What am I going to do here? Can I cause because none of our favorite politicians have done what we need them to do during the COVID crisis. With the relief, with the CARES Act, they all just caved in and gave big bailouts to the banks and big money, and crumbs to the workers. So even some of our favorite politicians have failed us. So this idea that we can demand what we need in the wake of the COVID crisis, in the biggest economic disaster of our lifetimes, probably of anybody's lifetimes, what do you want to send to people who are charged up, ready to get back at the system? What do you hope that we can achieve with your July 11th rally and other ideas, other irons that you have in the fire?
You basically said everything that we plan to do. We will do general strikes. We will do boycotts. We will hurt the machine.
Good.
We will put a stop to the machine. Right now, We need to stop holding back. We need to stop playing by their rules. You need to break free from your chains. Take off those Democratic chains. Take off those Republican chains and empower yourself. You're pissed off right now. We're all pissed off right now. And we need to let them know we're pissed off.
Yep.
So what I say to all of you, join us on July 11th. Get online, find out where your event is, RSVP to go, get in contact with your organizers, go out there, rally up, go to your representative's house and let them know you better bail us out, because this is the last stimulus check. This is the last time this year they're going to talk about bailing out anybody. And I promise you, they're not thinking about you. They're not thinking about all the work you're doing right now. They're not thinking how you're juggling 3-4 jobs and you just lost 2 of them to this freaking pandemic. They're not thinking about you can't pay your rent. They're trying to sell off your property. They're trying to sell off exactly where you're living, to sell it off to some wealthy freaking foreign person coming from overseas. That's the only thing they're thinking about is how do I refill my pockets right now.
Yep, just like Obama did.
Exactly like Obama did.
Yep.
Let's not lie to ourselves anymore. Let's look at it for what it is. Democrats are selling us out to the highest bidder. Republicans are selling us out to the highest bidder. Cut them off.
I heard Shahir Buttar. What's his name? I never remember his name. The Nancy Pelosi's adversary. Buttar. Shahid
Yes.
Buttar. That's his name. So I heard he was going to be involved in California. He was going to get a sound truck and he was going to go honk his way up to Nancy Pelosi's house. Did you hear about that?
We're in talks right now, and we're getting everything set up. So here's the true representatives that are actually stepping up with the people. We have Angelica Duñez down here in LA County.
Who's that?
Angelica Duñez. She's running against Tony Cardenas.
Okay.
In the San Fernando Valley. We have David Kim. We have Fatima Iqbal Zavier. These are all true progressive champions that are saying we don't give a fuck. The Democratic Party isn't going to help us. They don't help anybody unless you got a fat checkbook.
Yep.
All we have behind us is the true grassroots. And I have a message for these Bernie delegates right now. Stop wasting your time.
Yep.
You know damn well you're just being paraded out there.
Yep, we're just puppets.
They're going to take you out there. They're promising you the world. They're saying, we're going to give you this. We're going to ensure that you be success. And if you go along with this, we'll take care of you. It's all a fucking lie.
It's a big lie.
It's the biggest lie ever, and you know it.
So when these individual actions get going, do you see people honking a lot? Do you see like this signature part of it is that people are going to be honking and waving and more of a car thing? Because we haven't seen a lot of car action in our protesting.
Each event is going to be different. So like for my representative out here in Northern Torres, she lives up on a hill in a mansion. And if you drive up there, it's hard to get out and around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead a group of folks up there. We're going to stand in front of her house. We're going to name our demands. And then we're going to deliver our demands in paper form onto her door. Record the whole event, but let them know we delivered these demands. There's no excuse there.
That's the biggest thing probably that I haven't covered with you yet this morning is the demands, because you have to have a clear set of demands that most people agree on. So what will, in your just putting it together in your own mind, what do you think are the clearest demands, a short list of demands that we've got right now?
Well, the very first one we need to talk about is defund the police and divert funds back to schools and social services.
Excellent. Defund the police.
Mm-hmm.
In those words, don't let them mealy mouth their way out of it. Defund.
Don't try to sugarcoat what we're saying here.
Right.
Say it exactly the way it is. The United States Police Department all across the nation, their only purpose is to keep minorities in check, to keep the poor in check,
Right.
to keep them feeling fearful.
Exactly right.
And all of our tax money, a majority of the local tax money goes to the local PD.
Yep.
When it could be going to empowering the community, back into college, back into schools, back into social programs. But
Good. Okay, so that was the first one you said.
Yes.
Okay,
Second
what?
one is Medicare for all.
Good.
Right now, hospitals are getting overfilled across the nation. Texas is the primary example. Freaking, they want to go outside, they want to go back to normalcy, and our representatives are trying to kill us. They want us dead.
Yeah.
They don't want to help us. They want us to go out there and get sick so that we have a higher chance of dying. That's less of us that they need to worry about.
Yep, they don't give a fuck. It's the owners. You have owners, they own you. They don't care about you. And the biggest proof of that is that we see that they bail out the financial system. They want to keep the stock markets going. They want financial liquidity, and the market is king. And so the individual peons that do the work, the essential workers, they don't give a fuck. So we've got to figure out how people can understand that their lives that matter, you know, they have their children and grandchildren, they have their birthday parties and everything that makes life sweet. And our financial institutions and the people running them and the people funding our politicians don't give a fuck.
No, they don't. They're, like my best friend said, the best way you can the other day. There is no profit in cures. There is no profit in ensuring that folks are healthy.
Exactly.
What do they do right now? They keep us fat and freaking happy with sugary foods so you can get diabetes, and then they can profit off your suffering.
Preach. I talk about that all the time. Excellent. I'm a member of your choir there, definitely. All right, what else? Demands.
Or demand. We need a monthly $2,000 cash payment for all. A UBI starting this fucking month.
Good.
Hell, fuck that. No, I'm going to say that we need some backbone, going back from the moment they bailed out Wall Street.
Sure.
Because right now I have folks over here that are literally on the line about to lose their homes, and the banks are just waiting to foreclose and sell their property off at the drop of a dime.
Yep.
So right now, we need to be bailed out. We need at least $2,000 a month in order to ensure these families don't suffer.
And
so
if all the people waving their fists and their signs and honking their horns demand those things, and they all stick together and agree, and we keep the pressure on, and we don't let, when the news cycle changes and the weather shifts news-wise, if we don't all get comfortable again, if we keep the pressure on and we have those demands right on front. If there's anything else, though, you want to say, go ahead and say it. But I think your demands, that short list that you just said, is really good. All right, so Jerry Perez, we've got this conversation going already about your July 11th rally and getting back to the grassroots with demanding a COVID-19 bailout. But also now we mentioned we're thinking about Our Revolution and the corruption that we've seen from the inside. Do you have anything that you'd like to say about that?
Our revolution at the national level is completely compromised.
Yeah.
As of right now, Our Revolution is a shill for the Democratic Party.
Yes.
Their only purpose is to ensure that there is no opposition to our next king, Joe Biden, and any other Democratic party tour within the area.
So let's start naming names. Let's get to some names of candidates and party insiders and Our Revolution insiders.
So let's start at the very top. Mike Oles. This is the individual that I've had to deal with and who was stringing me along for a very long time. He made promises of letting us use a phone dialer and getting us resources as we're organizing within our area. And he would make these promises if we would support certain candidates in the area, like one for Lorraine Lindquist. She's a local person running for city council in LA County. A complete shill.
Yeah.
She endorsed against our organizers' wishes, a candidate in the Antelope Valley known as Chrissy Smith. I don't know if you're familiar with Chrissy Smith, but she's complete garbage.
Huh.
And according to our organizers and volunteers in the Antelope Valley, they don't like her. And she's a complete liar. And she does not represent the Antelope Valley and the people there. She's only doing this as a career candidate.
So that's from Our Revolution. And do you think that, how did that infiltration happen, do you think, that the DNC got so far inside that group?
Well, first let's look at what Our Revolution National is. It is a nonprofit organization that does not need to disclose its donors.
501c4, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Which means
yes.
dark money.
Mm-hmm. They take dark money.
Yes.
They take big money. And all this just came to light to me recently.
Me too.
That's how they are maintaining everything. So before, Our Revolution National was ran by Nina Turner and the original staff like McBride, it was doing everything for the right reasons. And they weren't taking corporate money. And it was functional. But then, as the progressive movement went on, and we had garbage-ass individuals like, what's his name, Bernie's right hand, Jeff
Weaver.
That piece of shit.
Yeah.
Coming in and infiltrating and pulling away all that made this good and encouraging folks to freaking sell out. So as of right now, Our Revolution National, it is not a representation of the grassroots. It's a freaking sheepdogging system to ensure that progressives fall in line and get behind candidates that toe the Democratic Party line.
Such as Joe Biden.
Such as Joe Biden.
Yeah.
They're not straight up saying we endorse Joe Biden, but they're doing everything within their ability to ensure that he wins.
Yep. Jeff Weaver, Chuck Rocha.
Yep.
There are other awful people.
So right now, what they're doing is that they have these national calls every Monday, and they just started a new program where they're going to try to shape the students for Bernie, and they're going to try to take hold of all of Bernie's grassroots power and integrate that into the Democratic Party.
Yeah, that's the sheepdog. That's what pisses me off the most, because all the new energy, all the new donations, all the grassroots funding and enthusiasm, and the DNC wants that. And that's the only reason they've ever let Bernie talk. The only reason they've ever given him even a nickel is because they thought, okay, all of Bernie's grassroots followers are going to come into the sheepfold, and then we'll have them. And that's the biggest, that's what I wish I could warn people against the most. I wish that nobody had ever followed Bernie ever, if it comes down to them getting shepherded into the corrupt DNC.
And we need to call Bernie out on this. Right now we're building up our numbers, but I promise you, the moment we have our numbers, we're going to come and talk to Bernie. And we're going to demand he do the right thing. Because right now, the way I look at this, my people are in danger. All these folks that I dedicated my time to and actually sacrifice my money, my freaking guidance, and just, built them up, letting them know that there is a future coming, that we can win.
Yes.
They fucking pulled the rug out from under us, and so we need to hold them accountable.
We're still going to win. We're still gonna fucking win. We're not just gonna keep being victims. We're not just gonna keep being shepherded and say, "Oh golly, oh darn, they fucked us again." I think we're getting more and more sophisticated, more and more less naive. I think we're gonna win. I think that the people that are strong are gonna start to get a coalition going of other strong people that just aren't gonna get fucked around anymore.
Mm-hmm. And also, you need to identify who is really progressive.
Yes.
And who's fake.
Yeah, we could do that here. You can send anytime you want. You can talk about the real progressives in your area and the fake ass pretend progressives. And it is not always clear at the beginning when they don't have a track record. But as people get established and you can see that they're starting to cave into people like Mama Bear Pelosi, you can say, okay, warning flag. They started out well, but, and then we need to primary them.
Simple. It's so simple. All you have to do is ask them to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Come join us in this rally. We're about to go talk directly to the Hydra. Oh, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Fake. Immediately.
Yep.
Those are the individuals that are here to try to shoot us.
Yep.
Those are your infiltrators. When you have folks saying, well, trying to give you every reason in the world not to go and freaking confront these people up front. Well, they have children in the household. We're not about to go do nothing violent. All we're doing is delivering a list of demands and showing we mean business.
We mean business.
Right there, total sellouts. Those folks right there are there to try to derail you from doing the right thing.
Yep. And they want you to be polite. They want you to be civil, but all that is a trick to get you to be less powerful.
Yeah, don't hurt master. Please don't hurt master.
Yeah.
He makes me feel good when you're not looking.
Yeah.
And he puts money in my pocket.
Yes, when you're not looking, right. Yeah.
So yeah, they're very obvious. And so we're going to call them out as we talk to them.
Good.
What I really want to say is that to everyone watching this, you need to get up and you need to take action. You need to take it directly to each head of the Hydra. We need to go after every sitting member of Congress.
Yep.
And we need to tell them we're done playing.
Yep.
Do your fucking job.
And we have to sustain it. We have to keep doing it month after month after month.
Mm-hmm. We need to build up power.
Yeah.
This is the whole reason we're setting up the groundwork right now. Join us, start up your own group in your area, and start talking about how do we solve these problems. Who is causing these problems? Who are the smiling liars in our area? And we need to call them out.
And if we get to know each other, if we get networked, we'll be like union people. Even wildcat strikes have networks of people who know each other well, and they know each other's cell phone numbers, and when we get more used to it, we can get people around our House of our representatives and around our Congress people, around our senators faster. We can get better and better at it. We can figure out who the regular people are who will drop everything at a moment's notice. I think if we get coordinated and we keep it going over the next months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, I think they'll get tired of us. Mm-hmm. I think we'll start to see some difference.
They're already getting scared. Yep. We're seeing signs of it right now. Already, we had 2 infiltrators try to do a hostile takeover of our hub in the Antelope Valley.
Wow.
But what they didn't realize is that we're not playing here. And we already made an example of them, and we're getting ready to release a press release. Freaking holding the folks accountable who thought that they could just come in and take advantage of our organizers and our folks out there.
Were these DNC operators?
So what these are 2 individuals that were made promises and have been groomed by the Democratic Party and another compromised Our Revolution group here. And they thought they were going to come in here and shame this group into falling in line for the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not playing that. We're not playing that.
No. There are a lot of people playing that game, that vote shaming, fall in line behind the Democrats, Trump derangement syndrome. We're just not. We're done. The Bernie or Busters were never going to have it, and a lot of the grassroots Bernie people were Bernie or Busters from last time, and they were the elephant in the room. The insiders, the DNC insiders in Bernie's camp, really always frustrated with those Bernie or Busters. Like, what are we going to do with you people? You're so uncouth. But we're still here, and we're still uncouth, and we're not playing. And I think our numbers are growing. I think the more they fuck with us, the more there are hardcore Bernie or bust. And, Bernie, it's not about Bernie anymore, but the idea of progressive or bust.
It is about Bernie.
It's about what he started, yeah.
Did you give Bernie permission to drop out?
Did I? Fuck no.
I fucking didn't.
No.
I dedicated my time. I dedicated my money.
Money?
I dedicated my soul, my will, everything. I trained countless folks all across my county for Bernie fucking Sanders. And what did he do?
Sheepdog. He sheepdogged us. Yeah, he did the same trick as he did before.
So if you're in Vermont and you feel some way about this and you want this change, I implore you, join us. And let's go talk to Bernie together.
Let's do this. I like your attitude.
Where the people lead, the leaders will follow.
There you go.
All of these leaders will fall in line real soon, especially after we start calling them out and getting direct answers.
That's the only way it's going to work. Mm-hmm. All right, bravo! You're doing the good work. I don't know that I don't have any other questions for you, but I'm ready and willing to keep plugging everything you tell me to plug. So just keep in contact with me, and I'll any events, whether they're local to California or anywhere, I'll do my best to get the word out.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to letting you know all the stuff that we have going on here, especially the situation that I just took care of yesterday with these two infiltrators, and calling out these so-called progressives that think that they can bully good-hearted folks into freaking voting and falling in line to their fucking garbage-ass candidate. So, yes, thank you so much for having me here today, and I look forward to talking to you more and empowering the progressive movement to take back what's ours.
Good. Okay, that sounds wonderful. Yeah. Anything else you think of, just let me know. But we can wrap that up for now. That was about our revolution. And anyone who has questions, I'll put your contact information, Facebook or anything that you send me via email. I'll put in the information section below this video.